No, everybody. Something went wrong. Oh, everybody. Good evening, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Good evening, everybody. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend and ready for the trading week. So make sure you hit the live button to make sure that you are getting this stream live. And also, if you can put where you are tuning in from, that would be great. Let me know which city you are tuning in from or where you're piping in from. Which city? Are you in Canada? Are you in the US? Are you in the UK? Where are you tuning in from? Just put in the chat where you're tuning in from. And make sure you tap the live button and make sure that the red dot is showing. If the red dot is showing, it means that you are live. Okay. And also, if you've not subscribed to the channel, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you get all the live streams notified to you by email immediately I go live, and also hit the notification bell as well. Okay. So if you can put in which city you are piping in from, that would be good. You are tuning in from, that would be awesome. So we just wait a little bit and then we can get started right away. Awesome. That you said is from Saskatoon, Canada. Awesome. How is the weather there? Is it nice out there? So put in the chat where you're tuning in from. All right. We'll get started right away here. Last week was a fantastic trading week. It gave everybody the best, and the bulls got everything that they wanted. Right? Everybody got something. There was something for everybody. Evie says she's from Ottawa. So awesome, awesome, awesome. This week promises to be an interesting one with Nvidia earnings coming up. So we'll get started here shortly. We'll just share my screen and then we can get started. We'll get started right away. Just waiting for Just sharing my screen here, and then we can get started. So, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the weekly stock market game plan. Um, if you just joined, please make sure that you tap the live button to make sure that you are streaming this live. So make sure that the red dot is showing that is live. And also, if you've not subscribed to the channel, please do so so that that is going to help us. That's going to help us grow the channel, and as well, it's also going to help you get any alerts anytime I go live. So subscribe, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and then anytime I go live, you are going to see that I'm live, and then you can join and learn something about the markets. Okay. So last week was a very so my name is Richard Ajay, and I'm the co-founder of Trading Rich, and today I'm an options and futures trader. And today we're going to be talking about the game plan for the upcoming week. So, so this week, last week was an interesting one because it presented opportunities for both the bears and the bulls. Everybody got something, right? So the bears looked like they were dominating at the beginning of the week, like they dominated from Monday or Tuesday to Thursday. And then Friday, the Bulls took over after um, the Fed chair speech at Jackson Hole, which is Fed Chair Powell. Okay. So Fed Chair Powell's speech was sounded dovish, and it showed it signaled a shift in Fed policy to confirmation that there was going to be interest rate cuts in September, right? So that caused the market to rally significantly on Friday, and most major indices like closed green on Friday. Okay, so this week I'm going to be going through the game plan of how I plan to make money this week, from both the option from both the stock market and also the crypto market as well. So I'm going to share some crypto coins as well for those that are into crypto. Give you guys some game plan as well. That's just a bonus, but this is mainly a stock market channel here, but I also from time to time provide some insights into crypto as well. So I'm going to provide that one as well in today's live stream. So um, if you have any friends that are interested in learning about the stock market, please make sure you share this link with them so that they can join us in this live stream, and share it with your network, friends, and family, and let them join. Okay, so let's get started right away. So last week was a very interesting one because everything that I talked about last week in last week Sunday really worked out from the beginning, Monday to Thursday. We got that decline in the market, and some of the stocks that we had identified to to trade to the downside, to short to the downside, worked out really nicely. And I'm going to show you some of them, how we traded it in our live day trading room, and also how we also swung some of those tickets as well. And then apart from that too, I'm also going to provide you guys with my game plan for the week. Like, so in this live streams, the purpose of the live stream is to think ahead. Like, what's the game plan for the upcoming week, not what happened in the past. Although we are going to talk about what happened in the past, the most important thing is that how do we plan to make money in the upcoming week, right? Not just reviewing like recaps and stuff like that. Okay. So Um, during the week, what happened was that we had so I'll go to the charts here. I'll go to the major indices. So I'm showing here, I'm going to show you the S&P 500. There's the ETF for the S&P 500. That's um the SPY. Going to get that right away here. So that's the ETF for the S&P 500. So if you look at this closely, we can see that on Monday, this was Monday. So on Monday we had like a green day. It was barely green. On Tuesday we got a red day. Wednesday we got a red day, and on Thursday we got a red day, right? And then on Friday we pushed up and then we engulfed all the red action. So what I meant by the bears got something and the bulls got something is the sense that, as you can see here, the bears are the red team, the red guys. They got a good gain to the downside, and then that was wiped out on Friday when Jerome Powell started speaking at the Jackson Hole Symposium, right? So what some critical levels that I was looking at is that I had this trend line here. So this trend line here, if you look at this, this is a trend line that touches this area. This is the May 23rd low, and it touched the August 1st sell-off, and then also over here as well. This was June 20th. So if you extend this trend line and you connect it to these 3 points, you are going to see that price came all the way, and what did it do? It bounced over there. Okay. So this trend line is now acting as a critical level now for future breakdown. So if the market is to sell off sometime in the future, we are going to be watching this trend line closely, right? So this week, what do we have on deck? Some of the things that we have on deck is we have Nvidia earnings, we have GDP data, we have PCE inflation data. That is the Fed's preferred inflation data. We also have that on deck as well. So that's something that we are going to be watching closely. So as you can see here, if you go to the weekly time frame, we shall see how all the major indices did. So look at this. This is the SPY. That's the ETF that tracks the S&P 500. That was close green. So you can see close green with a hammer candle. And then if you look at the tech heavy QQQ or the Nasdaq or the ETF that tracks the Nasdaq, you are going to see that, interestingly, that index or that ETF closed red. It closed red, right? But the SPY closed green. And then let's go on and check what's the next one. Let's check the Dow. What's the ETF that tracks the Dow? That is the DIA. This is a weekly chart, by the way. This is DIA. So the DIA also closed solid green and made new all-time highs, right? And then the next thing that we had here was that we also had the Russell 2000, right? Or the ETF that tracks the Russell, which is IWM. IWM also did what? IWM also closed. Let's see what it did. Boom. It also closed what? Green. And actually, the IWM performed better than all the ETF or the Russell 2000 index performed better than all the other indices or ETFs. Why is that? Because anytime the Fed signals interest rate cuts, that favors the IWM, because IWM has a lot of small companies, like, these are small caps. You have a lot of small companies that are listed there. And these companies, like, they are businesses where most of them are not profitable and they have loans and stuff like that. So anytime interest rate is high, they suffer, right? And anytime interest rate is lowered, it favors them. So as you can see here, you can see clearly that this IWM, all the other indices, like all the other ETFs, have all reached like all-time high, but the IWM hasn't reached all-time high yet. So this is where IWM is, that's the all-time high. And then if you pull this down to check, how many points is left. So this is around, let's see, this is around, is about, let's see here. Uh, is about 5% like to the all-time high. So we still have some room for this to get to all-time highs. It hasn't gotten there yet. So, but once we cut interest rates in September, so the interest rate decision date is going to be at the FOMC on September 17th. And on that day, we are going to see the Fed, the US Fed cut interest rate. So now let's check the Fed tool. Tool. So let's check it out. So always as a stock market trader or investor, you want to check the Fed tool, right? Fed watch tool here. So that gives us the probabilities of interest rate cuts. So let's click on it. You go on Google, you check out Fed tool, Fed watch tool. And once we click on it, we get, let's see what we get here. What is it doing? It's loading now. Let's see what the probabilities are. Before Powell's speech, it was around 80 something percent. Let's see where is it now. And sometime 2 weeks ago, it was around 99.99 and it kept on switching. So this is a place where we usually get the Fed decision like rates, like how far is going to go in terms of probabilities. Right now, it shows that the probability is in the favor of the Fed cutting interest rate in September, right? So this is 87%. It has gone up since the last time I checked, right? So this positive for the market. And anytime there's interest rate cuts, interest rate sensitive ETFs, indices, and stocks tend to rally, right? So as a trader and an investor, you want to position yourself strategically to benefit from that, right? When these things happen. So that's why you have to understand the fundamentals and you also have to understand the technical. So anytime you have fundamentals merging with technicals, it's really powerful, right? It's really powerful. If you want to combine the two, you are going to make very good decisions in the markets. Okay. So so now let's look at what we have on deck in terms of economic calendar, what is coming up, right? So here it says Fed may cut interest rate in September. Why the long pause may extend stock rallies. Okay. So you see here, that's the breaking news here. So based on Powell's speech, I'm going to go through some key excerpts from the speech that caused the market to rally on Friday, right? So so on Monday we have new home sales, which is going to be at 10 a.m. This can move the market in one direction or the other, but it's not really a big catalyst, right? Yeah, it's just it's just maybe one flash move here and there. That's going to be at 10 o'clock. And then there's going to be Dallas Fed president is going to be speaking. New York Fed, John Williams is also going to be speaking. This is going to be in the night after the market closes. And then here on Tuesday, we are going to get consumer confidence. Yeah, absolutely. This one here is going to move the market because consumer confidence is what shows whether the consumer is spending, the consumer is optimistic about the economy or is pessimistic about the economy. So if the consumer is not spending, that means that they are scared of a recession or they're scared of they are holding on to their money, right? That's very important. And then Thursday we are going to get initial jobless claims. So this number, this one of the most important data I'm going to be watching from now to September, right? Or from now to the end of the year, right? This number, I'm watching it closely. So if this number gets to 250,000 per week, right? So this is reported on a weekly basis. So if this number gets to 250,000 per week, that is a yellow flag for the market. It means that it's a yellow flag that the labor market is cracking. I mean, the labor market has shown to be cracking already, but that's a yellow flag that the US economy is heading towards a recession, right? And then once we hit the 300,000 per week jobless claim number, that means that the US is in a recession, right? So, and I mean, those of you in the US, I don't know if you've noticed that I was speaking to a friend in the US this weekend here, and he mentioned to me that he realized that the major fast food companies, right? Like all the major fast food companies, they all of a sudden they're offering deals on Tuesdays, right? All of them are offering some kind of deals on Tuesday. These are typical signs of recession, right? So the US economy might already be in a recession, but we don't know. The numbers will come and show us later. But what I'm just saying is that this is something that we should be watching. So all the major indicators showing that the US economy is heading towards a recession sometime soon. The only thing that is standing in its way is the job market. I know the administration likes to say something different, but the thing is that I use what is called the business cycle, right? So the business cycle, like I follow yeah, one of my favorite economists, right? Henry Zibek. He uses the business cycle. So the business cycle is something that will show us the signs of a recession early, right? And it has predicted all the major recessions, including the 2008 financial crisis, right? So anytime the business cycle triggers a recession, like it's showing that we are entering in a recession, usually a couple of months later, the economy, the US economy goes into a recession. So right now, one of the major things that I'm going to be watching is the initial jobless claims, right? Which is something really very critical. Then on Friday, we are going to watch the Fed's preferred inflation gauge, which is the core PCE, right? That one is coming up at their forecast is 2.9%. I mean, year over year. If this comes up and it's like 3.1 or 3%, that's not good for the market. It means that inflation is ticking up, right? I think it's going to come in good because like the inflation from the consumer standpoint, it's not being the tariff effect is only being felt in the like wholesale, right? So PPI, right? Producer price index. That's what we are seeing it. So companies are absorbing the tariffs, but eventually we are going to see that reflect on the consumer, right? So once it start reflecting on the consumer, these numbers will start going up, right? This number here, I think that is going to come in light. It is going to be like the CPI, which came in light the last time, but the PPI the last time went high, right? Which is a producer price index. So this is what I'm going to be. I'm going to be watching these closely. But I think this week, one of the major events is going to be the earnings of Nvidia, right? So the AI trade. So Nvidia is the grandmaster of the whole market, right? Nvidia has been carrying the market on its shoulders since 2023 when the whole AI thing exploded, right? So it has been carrying the market on its shoulders. And if Nvidia fails, if the earnings fails, then obviously there's going to be a decline in the market. You're going to get a sharp sell-off, right? But based on what Nvidia has said in various earnings calls, they say they have demand for the next 5 years and they don't even have enough, like they don't even like they're not even able to produce enough chips or something like that, something to that effect, right? So that means that demand is high. So I expect that the earnings will come in good, right? And then that's going to help lift the market as well. So Nvidia, when we get to the Nvidia chart, you are going to see that Nvidia has declined a bit, but I think that once they report earnings and the earnings is good, is going to lift Nvidia back to new all-time highs, and then also lift the market to new all-time highs, especially the tech-heavy Nasdaq or the QQQ, right? Because the QQQ right now is showing that the QQQ is showing weakness right now, like compared to the S&P 500. And I believe that once Nvidia earnings come out and is good, is going to lift the QQQ to catch up with the SPY or the S&P 500 and get to all-time highs. Okay. So last week, although Friday we got a major rally in all the indices, strangely, the Nasdaq, which is the index, and the QQQ, which is the ETF of the Nasdaq, all closed what? Red for the week, right? So that is telling. That's interesting. That shows that um like that shows that investors are targeting other indices and they're just waiting for Nvidia earnings to see what happens there. But I believe that Nvidia, I don't have problems with Nvidia. I know that they're going to beat. They're not going to mess up or anything like that. But if they do, like anything, there's nothing guaranteed, right? But if they do, then that means that the market is going to sell. So I know we have all these economic data and stuff, but the main event of the week is going to be Nvidia earnings because why? Nvidia has held the market, carried the market on its shoulders, even in tough times when Apple was slacking off and wasn't doing anything. Nvidia has carried the market on its shoulders. So if Nvidia fails, the main guy fails, then the market will be in trouble. So we shall see how that plays out. So let's go to the earnings website and see where Nvidia, with date Nvidia is having their earnings. So Nvidia is NVDA. Let's check it out. See here. So Nvidia is they have their earnings on Wednesday 27th. So have their earnings Wednesday 27th. So all eyes will be on Nvidia. That's going to be at 4:20. That's when the market closes, 20 minutes after. When the regular stock market closes, 20 minutes after, that's post after hours. That's when Nvidia is going to report, and everybody's going to be watching this close. So if Nvidia comes in good and things are good, the QQQ will rise, and then I believe that is going to make new all-time highs in the days and weeks ahead. Okay. All right. So now that we know all this stuff, let's go to some of the key statements. So I'll just let you know my overall take about the market, right? So short term, right? Short term, I'm bullish on the market. But long term, I'm bearish, right? The reason why I'm short term bullish is that with interest rate cuts, anytime you have interest rate cuts, you have it's like the market gets a sugar high, right? So it rallies. So you're going to get rallies to, new all-time highs. And you see that the Russell, which is the IWM ETF, is now pushing up. And at some point, from now to September 17th, where they cut the interest rate, I believe that the IWM will get to new all-time highs, right? Or all-time highs, because that's the only index that hasn't cracked all-time high yet, right? It's just lagging behind for big time. So I believe that investors are going to shift from the tech stocks that have been rallying, like the Palantirs of this world, like to other stocks like Nvidia, Microsoft. They are going to be taking money, pulling some of the money from there and putting it into stocks that are interest rate sensitive, that have been beaten down, and also into the IWM as well, because they want to make money from all the right. They want to catch a piece of the action, right? So they are going to move money there to push it to all-time highs. And then, so I believe that since April 7th, I've been talking about the final rally, right? And the final rally, even when the market was at low of the year on April 7th, I said that we're going to get a final rally that is going to take the market to all-time highs. And we've gotten new all-time highs upon new all-time highs, right? And so right now, what I think is that typically, historically, anytime you review the historical data over the years, anytime the Fed start cutting interest rate, that means that something is broken in the economy, right? And why do you think that Powell all of a sudden, the Fed all of a sudden they're changing their mind that, hey, you know what, we have to start cutting interest rate? I thought the economy was strong because Powell in all his speeches prior to Friday was that, okay, the economy is strong, the labor market is strong, etc. Even the last FOMC, he was very hawkish. He wasn't like having it in terms of interest rate cuts because they say they want to wait till they see the effects of the tariffs. And then they also want to say that they want to meet their targets. Their inflation target is 2%, right? They want to hit that target. But here we are, inflation has been sticky, right? And it was easy to move inflation from 9% to 3%, but it's been hovering around the 3% mark, 2.9, 3.1, 3%. It's difficult to move it from that 3% to 2. So what happened to the 2% target? So all of a sudden, that's not an issue anymore, right? Why? Because they figured that, the labor market is cracking, right? Because like the last time they did revisions in the non-farm payroll and all that stuff, they revised the numbers down significantly, right? Which went to recession time levels. And that is causing some kind of fear with the Fed, right? So the Fed is not, they are not proactive, right? The Fed is like wait and see kind of agency, right? Wait and see. They wait to get the data, and then based on the data, they go and react, right? That's their problem because the US Fed should have been cutting interest rate a long time ago, right? Canada has cut like 7 interest rate cuts already. US is not cutting interest rates, right? But the good thing with Canada is that Canada's inflation has gone down to 1 point something percent, right? So they hit the 2% target like last year, and then it has gone down further, right? So, but the US is now with tariffs, is becoming a little bit tricky because they don't know what the impacts of that tariffs is going to be, right? So far, it's not reflecting in the consumer, uh, um, the CPI yet, but we are seeing that reflect in the PPI. That's the producer price index. Okay. So why did the market go up on Friday? What caused that? One of the reasons was that the Fed changed their tone or they switched their policy, right? So what happens is that if you're a day trader, you're going to see that the moment the speech came out, so usually what they do is that for Jackson Hole and other speeches, even with the FOMCs, they release it to the press. So the Powell was supposed to speak at 10 a.m. Eastern on Friday. Immediately, it was 10 a.m. They released the speech, transcripts of the speech. And then what they do is that the algorithms and the AI systems, they just go and scan through the speech in milliseconds, right? Or microseconds. And then what they do is that they pick out key phrases or key sentences, right? So over here, if you look at this, you are going to see that this phrase here, or what do you call it, this sentence here, right? This excerpt from the speech is what caused the market to rally significantly on that day, right? Before even Powell started saying a word, right? The market just took off. Boom. Went to the moon, right? So he says, with policy in restrictive territory, the baseline outlook and shifting balance of risk may warrant adjusting our policy stance. So so they are changing their policy stance, right? Why? Because right now they've realized that, okay, you know what? Inflation, we are not seeing inflation show up in the consumer side yet. However, due to the tariffs, you are seeing that show up in the producer side, which companies are absorbing. Okay. And we're also seeing cracks in the labor market. So typically, when there's cracks in the labor market or the economy is slowing down, what happens is that the Fed steps in to try to mitigate the issue, right? Most of the times they are late, right? Most of the time they are late. So that's what caused that. And also, we also got so this was what caused the market to rally on Friday. So if you look at this, let me go to the charts here. I'll go to the intraday data. Let me go to, so this is the daily. Let me go to the daily here. And let me go to the intraday levels and show you guys what happened here. So let's use the SPY or the S&P 500. Let's see here. Let's see what it's saying. Let's see if I can find what I'm looking for. SPY. So I'll go to the 1 minute time frame, like the lowest of the lowest time frame, to show you guys what happened. So it was quick, like it was just like a microsecond move, right? So immediately came out, the algos read through the speech quickly, and then boom, all the computers and algos triggered, right? They went in, and then the bots, they loaded, right? So over here, so this 10 a.m., right? This 10 a.m. here, let me see if I can blow this up a bit to figure out what exactly happened during that time. see exactly what happened during that time. So, all right. So over here, you can see that at 10 a.m., this 10 a.m., right? At 10 a.m. Eastern, before 10 a.m., what was like price was going down. And at 10 a.m., immediately the speech came out, the transcripts came out, and the algos and the AI systems read it. Boom. They captured that phrase and realized that, power of all people who has been hawkish all year long, all of a sudden, or for the last couple years, all of a sudden, power is sounding dovish, right? So he was sounding more dovish than expected, right? Because Wall Street, where everybody was like positioning their mind that, hey, this guy is going to say we are not sure of the effects of tariffs. The economy is strong, so we are going to hold our ground and then not cut interest rate in September. But once they read that side of the machines read that stuff of the speech, they realized that no, things have changed, and then boom, it just sent the market rallying like that. So you see this candle, this here, just look at this one. This is just a 1 minute candle, 1 minute, right? And then it was gone, off to the races, right? So that is what happened, right? Okay, so now that we know that, let's go to the next item, right? The next item is that, which was also significant, was Walmart also had their earnings, right? And the CEO of Walmart, right? CEO Doug said that the impact of tariffs have been gradual enough that any behavioral adjustments by the customer have been somewhat muted. But he warned that the company has seen cost increase each week as it replenishes its inventories at post-tariff price levels. A trend the CEO expects to continue into the third and fourth quarters. And while Walmart tries to keep prices as low as possible, some increases are inevitable, especially after the company missed earnings. So look at company missed earnings. Why? Because they're absorbing the tariffs. And if you're absorbing tariffs, that means that you are getting hit with some kind of losses, right? And then expectations despite its superior revenue growth. So this Walmart is a company that is a recession-proof company. So once the US economy goes into a recession, stocks like Walmart are going to do well because those are recession-proof, right? When there's a recession, it doesn't matter. You have to eat, right? You have to go there to buy bread. You have to go there to buy milk. Like you don't have a choice, right? You have to leave. So whatever it is, consumers are going to cut costs elsewhere and make sure that they go to places like Walmart. But here's the case where Walmart are feeling the heat of tariffs. So what do you think they are going to do eventually? Eventually, because it's a business, it's not charity, right? It's a business. So what they are going to do eventually is that they are going to pass down that cost to the consumer. They have to increase their prices in order to be, because they say here, the cost increase each week, right? Their cost is increasing each week. It's not even like it's increasing on a monthly basis or quarterly basis, it's increasing each week. So eventually they're going to be fed up with it and they are going to say, hey, you know what? Hold on a second. We have to find a way to pass this on down to the consumer. And what that does is that, so if anytime the economy is slowing down, and so if they pass it on to consumers, now we are going to see that in the CPI numbers, right? Because CPI is mainly food and energy, right? So once that goes up, we are going to see that reflect in the inflation for consumers. And when inflation is going up and the economy is slowing down or the labor market is slowing down, it's called stagflation, right? And stagflation can be something that can last for some time and it can be stubborn to deal with, right? So we are seeing Walmart CEO flag this thing. So that is something that we are going to see, and the Fed and other officials are going to be monitoring this as time goes on. Okay. Yeah. So now that we know all this stuff, let's look at how I plan to make money this week and what my game plan is. And this week is so right now what we are doing is that we are positioning for from now to September 17th. Okay. So the idea is that I've been saying that if you have been joining my live streams and stuff, I've been saying that we are going to get a small cap summer. And so far, the Russell has done well this summer, and we've seen that we've been getting like rallies for the small cap stocks and stuff. That's going to continue into September. And then once we cut interest rates, I believe that we are going to get into a phase of euphoria. Euphoria is when everybody's excited, where your next door neighbor that doesn't know anything about stocks or crypto will telling you buy this, buy that, right? Anytime you hear something like that, that means that nah, the party is over. You have to be exiting, right? So what I see is that in the short term, I'm bullish. I see that we are going to continue rallying. I believe that the S&P, I believe the S&P will hit prices like 6,800 or even 7,000, right? And that's equivalent, 6,800 is equivalent to 680 on the SPY, on this ETF. So it's now at 645, so maybe 40 points or so more, right? And then, or it can even get to 700. That's how far it can go, right? So once we get to those levels, maybe September, October level, because October, there might be another interest rate cut in October. If the one in September goes through, then that means that there's going to be a second one in October, mid-October thereabout, maybe October 17th or 19th thereabout. They are going to cut interest rate again, and that's going to send the market high. So anytime there's interest rate cuts, the market is happy and then it goes up. But I believe that in the fourth quarter of the year, that's where the problems are going to start, right? In terms of we are now going to see the labor market like now start recording something like 250,000, 300,000 jobless claims in a month. When that happens, that means that it's over, right? That means that it's over. Then the US economy will now go into a recession. But also, if you look at credit card delinquency rates, and like people struggling to pay their mortgages and stuff like that. Those things, I believe that this could be a credit crunch issue, right? Plus inflation, plus other things, tariff, all these things mixing up can create like what can be like a global effect, like a global bust, right? Similar, not like 2008, but it's going to be similar to it, but of a different reason. It's not going to be subprime mortgages, it's going to be something else, right? So we shall see how that works out and we shall see how things are going to work. But for now, as a trader, I'm just going to be watching, I'm going to be trading it, going with the flow, going with the trend, while bearing in mind that, okay, there's going to be a point where the party is going to come to an end. That's where we are going to get what I've been saying from last year, that we are going to get a blow off top, right? Blow off top is going to get a big rally and then boom, then that's it. And then the market will start going down, right? So we need more extension. So just know that the farther this rally goes, the more devastating the crash is going to be, right? The more devastating, because you are going to get extension, very extended. So those that have taken our programs and courses and stuff, you know what it is. The more extended it is, like Richie's law, the more extended something is, the bigger the crash is going to be, right? So we shall see how that plays out. So for this week, what I'm looking for the SPY is that, so the SPY is already at all-time highs. So the SPY is leading the way. Comparing the SPY to the QQQ, SPY is leading the way. So this resistance level here is going to be a critical level. If SPY is able to break it, then we are going to get a breakout and it's going to push up, right? So what I'm looking at is that, so these two trend lines. So this trend line, how did I get this trend line? I'll show you how I got this trend line right now. So here, this is October. This is the October 23rd low. October 25th, 2023 low. This is the time where the market sold off because Nvidia was selling off and the market rallied. So this is the low of October 2023. That's 25th, 2023. And then the low of this is the low of This is the low of which date is this one? This one is, I think this is the Japanese carry trade, I believe. Yeah. So that's August 8th, 2024. And then here as well, this area, this is the um, Liberation Day. And then it pushed up all day. So if you extend this trend line, right, you are going to see that SPY has, or the S&P 500 has been trading below it. So if you're able to crack through it, then we are going to go further higher. And then that's where we are going to get further up, right? So for now, what I'm going to be watching in the interim is, are we breaking this trend line, right? If you're unable to break it, then we are going to get like a reversal, like a pullback to the downside, right? So if we get a pullback to the downside, then I'm going to be watching this bottom trend line here. This is going to act as support, right? So it hit it once, it hit it twice, it hit it third time. So in technical analysis, right? Once we come back and hit it the fourth time, right? The fourth time, you have a 70% probability that it's going to be broken and go down, right? Third time is okay. It's like maybe 50%, 60%. But once we crack it the fourth time, it's going to be something that can be problematic. And then definitely we are going to come to the 50 and then possibly go down here and try to crack it and then go further down. Okay. So that's what I'm going to be looking at for the SPY. And then for the QQQ, the QQQ is currently lagging behind, right? So the SPY is pushing up, but the QQQ is red. It's not going anywhere. Let's look at what it's doing. So the QQQ still has room here. So with the QQQ, what we can see that the QQQ has traded above the 50 SMA and is holding so far. So what I expect QQQ to do this week is to come here, right? I expect QQQ to at least come here if Nvidia earnings is good. Nvidia earnings has to be good, right? If they disappoint or the market Wall Street did not like it or something like that, then, we are going to get a sell. But for now, I think that because we have that room, this is going to come and push up, right? You are going to get that like 2%, 3% move and then get to all-time high and make new all-time highs, okay? So that's what I'm watching for QQQ and SPY. So if you compare the two, you can see that SPY is leading the way, QQQ is behind, right? So I believe that QQQ is waiting for Nvidia to show its earnings because that's the AI play. That's what has been holding the market all this time. So we can get it to rally up, okay? So what else I'm looking at is that I'm going to be looking at other indices as well, other ETFs. So DIA, the DIA is showing it's actually made new all-time highs on Friday. So a DIA is where you have the legacy companies, like the companies that have been there, like the Walmarts of this world. These are very, very profitable companies. So if you look at the DIA, look at where the DIA is. So the DIA is here. So it made new all-time high. So if you look at this, there's a high here. And boom, look at it. It's in no man's land right now, right? It's in no man's land. So right now, what we are going to do is that we are going to use an indicator called pivot points. So we go, let's see what pivot points can give us. Let's go to the indicator button here. And let's add pivot points to see if we can get new levels to the upside. So anytime we get to the all-time highs, the stock or ETF goes into a mode called price discovery, right? Because it's going to discover a new price, okay? Because at this point in time, there's no resistance up and nobody knows where it's going, right? So pivot points could not give us anything, but yeah, we'll figure out the next point. So what you can do in that case is that you can use what is called expected move, right? So you come to, there's this website here, this website I use is called Options AI Expected Move, right? So expected move is what the options market makers use to predict price, where price is going with a 68% probability. So let's round it off to 70%, right? So I'm going to put DIA here. You can do the same thing for SPY and QQQ. yeah, you can do the same thing for SPY, everything. So usually when we trade, we use expected move for the week. So here, the expected move is 29. And which is this? When is the 29th? Okay, 29th is the end of the week. End of the week, yeah. 29th. So on 29th, we have 461. So I just want to use 461 as my benchmark. So that's just an area, right? 461. So here it is 456. So I'm going to put another level here at 461. So I'm going to put 461 here and then see what I get from that. So 461 will bring us somewhere here. 461 24. I think that's why. So 461 61.24. Something like this. 461. Boom. That's what we get, right? So right here, that is where the options market thinks this is going to come to, like this week. It's not that far. Like that's for 29th, I believe is Friday. So Friday, right? So that means that this can pull back. We are going to get a pullback, perhaps, and then we are going to push up, right? Or it can just blast through it. So it's just an estimate, right? Probability of 68%, right? But it could shoot up more than that, but at least it gives you an idea of what to target when you're trading. Okay. All right. So IWM. So one of the indices or one of the ETFs I'm going to be watching this week is IWM, because IWM, we still have room for this to push. So here, this is a classic bull flag, right? I like this kind of setups, right? I mean, it can't come as beautiful as this. So look at this. So this trend line here, this is a weekly trend line. This is from what's it called? That's November 2024. When you extend it and it comes here to this area, it hits this here at July 23rd, 2025, and you extend it. So what price did was that. So in technical analysis, there's something called break and retest, right? So anytime you break a major trend line or a major resistance level, typically price comes back, retraces back to come and retest it to prove strength, right? Because if it's a real breakout, it has to hold where it came from. So I call it back to the scene of the crime, right? So the crime was to break this trend line. And then what did he do? He pulled back. So if you look at this pulled back, right? So price pulled back and came back here. So this is going to, those that are not experienced, this is going to scare them off and shake them off. And they are going to think, oh my gosh, this is about to break. Nope. And then boom, it goes up, right? So here, this is what is called a bull flag, right? So this is your flagpole, this area here, these two green candles, and then this is your flag, right? This is in spirit of a bull flag, something like that. You go here and then down here. Okay, so what happened was that we got price come down over here, and then what did we do? We broke out of this, right? So on Thursday, we got this green candle. So this green candle wiped out the action here. And then we got this bullish engulfing candle, right? This bullish engulfing candle in our technical analysis course, we call it the clearing bullish engulfing candle. Why is it clearing? Because it's clearing, it's engulfing more than 5 days of action. If you look at this, it's engulfing this 1, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Anytime you have something like this, it has a 90% follow through rate, right? Meaning that if it's green, you are going to get more green candles to the upside, right? With a 90% probability. Just remember that in life, there's nothing that is 100%, right? So there's always that 10% that might not work out. But based on this Friday's action, we are definitely going to get some kind of more green candles to the upside this week. By the end of the week, I expect this to be at least another green, some green candles coming in. It could be 1 or 2. And then from there, we can get a pullback. But this is setting up for a move to the upside. So one of the, like if I'm going to be trading ETFs, IWM is one of the ones that I'm going to be watching for a day trade. You can even swing trade this. I mean, if you are somebody that wants to swing trade, you can just swing trade this, buy time on it, and target the all-time highs, right? Target the all-time high. So buy time on it. Buy something like in October 17th, allow it to play out, because buying time is an insurance policy to help you hold your trade longer, right? Because sometimes it might work out in a couple of days, sometimes you might take a while. So that's where your buying time helps you. And then with options, we are dealing with time, right? Because time decay can deal with you if you don't have enough time on your options, and then you're going to realize that maybe just consolidate around all over the place, and then boom, eventually it goes up. But because you do not have enough time on your options becomes worthless, right? And you want to make sure you avoid that, because you want to buy time. Buying time is like a risk management strategy, and it also helps you um mitigate time decay, because time decay can be very, very, like very, very bad if it goes against you, right? Yeah. So IWM is so they're one of the tickets for the week. One of them is IWM. Then the next one I'm going to look at in terms of stocks. So now I'll go to the stock. So one stock that I'm looking at this week, I'm watching for this week is Apple. Right? I'm watching Apple closely. So Apple, AAPL. Apple too had a bull flag setup. It has a bull flag setup that looks really nice, similar to what we saw here on IWM. So if you look at Apple, Apple got this big breakout, right? And I have these two trend lines here on my chart. It came down here, it held. So I expect Apple to, if the market is strong, like if the QQQ and Inspire are strong, I expect Apple to push up. So one stock I'm going to be watching is Apple. So if Apple is able to hold and break above 230, is this level. So this 229 and some change, 229.56. So let's round it out to 230. I'm going to look to get 230 calls expiring this week. I'll day trade it and target 235, right? Remember, Apple is a slow moving stock, so you don't expect to get big moves. But if we can push and come here, that's going to be fantastic, right? That's more than enough, right? More than enough to make money from that. So Apple is one stock that I'm going to be watching tomorrow is Apple. Next one is next one that I'm going to be watching as well is is my favorite stock, Tesla. Tesla is a double-edged sword, guys. Tesla is like it gives and it takes it, right? So that's why I call it a double-edged sword. It gives you a lot and you can take it back. So yeah, so let's look at Tesla closely. So this is what I see for Tesla, right? I believe that by September 17th, by the time they start cutting interest rates, give or take, Tesla should be $400 stock, right? We shall see how that plays out, that prediction plays out. But I believe that because I'm looking at it based on the technicals, right? Hopefully there's no fights. There's no Elon Musk fighting with Trump, right? I mean, those ones, nobody can predict those ones, but based strictly on technicals, and knowing Tesla as a stock, once it start moving, it's unstoppable, right? I believe that if Tesla start moving, it's just going to take off. Like it can do 60 points in 1 week, and then that's it. Game over. Because 60 points is all what we need to make this what 400. 60 points, 59 points, whatever, call it whatever you want. 60 points move a week can get the job done. And I believe that Tesla can do that sometime soon. It can be this week, it could be 2 days from now, it could be 2 weeks, it could be 2 months, who knows, right? But I believe that from now to the time they cut interest rates, barring any kind of economic catastrophe or something, some kind of economic data or something that is bad, or or something out of the blue that we don't know about, then I believe that Tesla can move, right? So the key levels that I'm watching for Tesla is very simple. So the key levels for Tesla is so right now is that 340 again. we had this bullish engulfing candle. Actually, on Friday, that's one of the best performing stocks. So here, this is another example of a clearing bullish engulfing candle. Anytime I see a clearing bullish engulfing candle, it's giving me a 90% probability that we are going to get more green candles to the upside, right? I don't know the size of those green candles. Like, it can be anything, right? It could be small, it could be big, but I know that 90%, 9 out of 10 times, I'm going to get a green candle. So I'm going to take the trade, right? I like when the probabilities are high. I'm going to take the trade, right? Because you don't have anything to lose. What else do you have to lose, right? So here, what you look, if you look at this candle here, engulf this one. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like on and on and on, right? It engulfed all these candles here. So from here ongoing, it engulfed it. So, and you don't have any long wicks to the upside. It is a full bullish engulfing candle, right? And if you look at Tesla, if you go to the weekly time frame, right? This thing here is a ticking time bomb, guys. This thing is a ticking time bomb. I watch Apple very well. You see, Apple took a long time to break out. And then one Friday, we just got a big breakout like that. We are going to get one of those days in Tesla. It could be this week, right? It could be this week. So here, if you look at this, let's do the counting, right? So from this year, this is the day that this is the week that Trump, Elon Musk and Trump started fighting. That was May 30th, that week of May 30th. So if you count the number of weeks, right? Let's even exclude this because that was the high. That it hasn't gotten to that level yet since that time. It's been trading within this range. So let's start counting from here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? This is weeks, right? You divide by 4, that is 3 months. So for 3 solid months, Tesla has gone nowhere. It's been trading below these trend lines for 3 months. Come on. The longer the consolidation in our technical analysis call, we talk about this, right? The longer the consolidation, the bigger the move, right? I'll show you an example of that. That happened with Apple. Apple was, oh my God, Apple just was consolidating for weeks upon weeks. Like, it wasn't moving. And then one day, boom, it just took off. Right. And it's because I think that day is due to the fact that the Apple CEO went to the White House and said they were going to invest, build some factories in America and stuff. But I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? Whatever the news is, it doesn't matter. All what matters is the technicals, right? So the technicals show you the information first before the news comes up. So it's just like weather forecast, right? The weather forecast guys, usually, I mean, 80% of the time they are correct, right? Sometimes they can be wrong. They say, oh, it's going to rain tomorrow, it's going to be whatever tomorrow, and then and you see that it rains, right? So that's how technical analysis works, right? Sometimes there are certain things that you cannot predict, like Elon Musk fighting online with Trump. I mean, who knows that was going to happen? Nobody knows, right? So that is something that you cannot legislate for, you cannot plan for, right? So over here, I have Apple. So if you look at Apple, I'm just comparing, right? Showing you guys something. So this is the weekly time frame. If you look at Apple here was from, if you look at Apple is how many weeks? If you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 weeks. That's 4 months. 16 weeks divided by 4 is 4 months, right? Tesla is what? Tesla is 3 months, right? So, and what do we get in 1 week? Look at that. They got this big move, right? In 1 week. So I'm expecting such a move in Tesla sometime soon. I don't quite know when it's going to be. It could be this week, it could be next week, who knows, right? But anytime it shows up, we are going to be ready. So if you look at this on the weekly chart on Apple, this is showing what is called a bull flag, right? A bull flag here, then boom, this is going to take off, right? So let's go back to Tesla. I'll show you something here that I discovered too on Tesla. Why I'm bullish on Tesla, right? And Tesla is one stock that when it start moving, I really like the way it moves, right? It's quick, right? So if you look at this, right? If you look at all these candles, this weekly candle, right? I look at the longest green candle is this day, this one, this week. The longest green candle is this one. This one here. That was April 25th, that week. And if you do the math on it, like if you check how big that candle is, right, from here to here, from here to here, it's around, whoops, where's this thing going up? It's around 64 points, right? It's around 64 points. So even if it gives us 60 points in 1 week, 400. There we go. Right? From here, it's going to be 400, right? So that's why I'm saying that from now to September 17th, don't be surprised if Tesla is trading at 400. And you don't want to miss that move, right? That could be your trade of the year, right? That could be your trade of the year. And when Tesla start moving and you cut that kind of move, you are done, right? That's all you need. You need that kind of move to be able to make exponential gains. So that's what I'm looking at. So Tesla, if Tesla is able to hold on to this level. So the first level, the first place I need Tesla to come to is Tesla needs to find a way to break above. So here, obviously, he has to break above these trend lines, but most importantly, this 350 level, 349.57. Let's round it off to 350, or let's pull it back a little bit. So just a little bit here. Yeah, so here, pull it back here to the top of this candle. Yeah, so yeah, 348.90 or 349. Let's round it up to 350 to a round number, psychological number. If it's able to break above this, then we can shoot up to upper levels, right? And the next upper level that I want this to come to is going to be 357. So from 350, we shoot to 357, 358. Then here, 367. This is the place where Elon Musk started fighting with Trump. So once we're able to clear that area, it's done. It's done. Then the next area is going to be 394 or 384, and then we are going to get to 400. So 394 is approximately like 400. Then next level is 420. So I want you guys to have this on your radar and have it ready to go, ready to execute. Okay. So the next ticker that I'm going to look at here is going to be so I'm going to be looking at the healthcare tickers. Like healthcare tickers did well last week. One of them that has come to a key level based on what he did the last time is HIMS. So I'm going to check out HIMS here. So HIMS. So if you check out HIMS, so HIMS is showing here. Let me take this off. HIMS is showing this over here. This is the, so you see this yellow line? Let's compare what HIMS did in the past. So in technical analysis, we use patterns, right? So your ability to recognize patterns is going to can make you a fortune in this market. Okay. So here, if you look at this, so the last time you look at this, the last time price came here, that was September 2024. What did you do? We got this big bounce, right? And then it came here again. This was April. In April, we did a similar, like it was a Zoom live, and I mentioned that HIMS was about to bounce, and this area here was going to bounce. And what happened from there? From the points that it got to the 200 to this area, HIMS did more than 120% to this area. It's more than 120%. So where is it now? It has come back here again. So based on what happened in the past, the probability show that this can bounce here, right? If it fails, I mean, there's nothing certain, right? There's nothing 100%. If it fails, then it's going to come down. Fine. But here, I'll start accumulating, buying HIMS and putting my stop below the 200. I'll give it some room. You see here last time, it broke below it and stuff. Give it some room. Don't be too strict on it. Give it some room so that I can play out, and then this is going to work. So if we get that kind of move again, that's going to be spectacular, right? And so here I like HIMS long. So buy something, buy time on it. If you're buying the options, you buy time on it and hold it. Just give it like maybe 1 month out. allow it to play out, and put your stop here. This is a low risk trade. Why do I say it's a low risk trade? Because like, listen, your stop loss is just here. See the distance between where this candle is and then the stop loss, which is the yellow line, which is the 200 SMA, is very, very close. So you have nothing to lose. You take the trade and manage your risk. If it doesn't work out, fine. You stop you out, you wait and reload the trade next time, right? So HIMS is a stock that I'm going to be watching this week to see if we can gap up above the moving averages. If it does, then HIMS is going to go. Okay. Next one on my radar is I'm also watching TM. So this one was a stock that we traded in the options swing trading service, and it was a fantastic move. So those that are in our alert service, like swing trading alert service, we caught this. That was one of our stocks of the week. That was this was Monday. So we alerted this trade. I alerted this trade on Monday. Monday worked out nicely. We took profits. We held some runners, and then we got the market sell. It came back down, and then boom, it went back again. So overall, this was a nice green swing trade for us this week. And I believe that this still has room, but this stopping tail candle here is a little bit concerning, but we shall see how it plays out. If it's able to break above this $85 level, then it can shoot up to get to all-time highs. Okay. So TEM is another stock that I'm going to be watching. So here is it. Here's the trade that we took. Let me go to so this is the trade here that we took. So TEM returned 81%, right? 81%. We bought this $73 course. It returned 81% in a short period of time. That was just within the trading week there, right? Just a few days. Okay. So next, let me go to the other stocks that I have in mind. So there's this stock, right? Novo Nordic, right? Novo Nordic. So I'm looking at things that you can buy long term and hold, and you can take your time and then hold on to them. Novo Nordic is one of them. So Novo Nordic has been going through a lot. Like they collaborated with HIMS, and then it looks like the deal fell through. They fired their CEO, they brought a new CEO, and this thing has been trading this way. So what I'm looking at for HIMS is that no, Novo is that Novo is the type of stock where you just buy and forget, like in a long-term portfolio, you buy and forget because eventually this is going to work out. It has a big gap here. So if we can get Novo to break out of this $57 level, it's going to come to the red line, and then we can push from there. So Novo is a stock that I would like to hold for long term and see how it plays out, right? Because the probabilities in the favor that this can work out nicely. Okay. And another stock that I'm holding, like I have a position in this, and I alerted this in the mastermind group, is Lulu. Lulu is a Canadian company. Lululemon, right? So if you go to the gym, you are going to see like people putting on Lululemon pants and all these kind of things, right? Yeah. So so if you look at Lulu is a stock that like, so I had this trend line here. Look at how beautiful this trend line is. So this trend line from here, it hits it here, it hits it there, and then it hits it here as well, and then boom, we got a breakout on Friday. So I'm expecting Lulu to give us a continuation, right? More moves to the upside. And here, I expect Lulu to go to at least 220 by the end of this week before their earnings next week, right? And if you check let me go to here. If you check the volume profile for Lulu, you are going to see that Lulu has a big volume gap to fill. And once it starts moving, it's going to accelerate very fast. Maybe the earnings is just going to bring something. Maybe they're going to do some. Usually, when stocks have been beaten down like this and they are going into earnings, the probability for it to go up is high because the expectation is low for the company because everybody thinks it's going to go down. People think that we are going to short it to the gates of hell kind of thing. And then they come in, they just need to do like, like just something okay kind of earnings, right? Whereby they present something good, um, present some good guidance. That's all is needed. This is going to shoot up, right? So if you look at here, we have a big volume gap here. So this is a price imbalance, right? So you see where the green line is. This can come to 222 in no time, within the shortest period of time. And then once it gaps up here, this can go as high as 264. So Lulu is a stock that I have in for long term. It's not like a short term trade. It's a long term. Allow things to play out, and then you can catch the move to the upside. So Lulu is a stock that I will want you guys to keep an eye on and take action from. Okay. All right. So regarding the other stocks. So I'm looking at the Chinese stocks now that the US stocks are trading at all-time highs. I'm also going to look at Chinese stocks. But before then, let's go to one of our big trades of last week, Palantir. Palantir, right? So if you go back and watch the YouTube live from last week Sunday, I mentioned that Palantir was a stock that was setting up for a short, right? So why was it setting up for a short? Because this was Friday. So this was Friday, I believe, right? No, this Monday. Okay. On Friday, it was trading here. Okay. So let me erase these lines to make it easy to see. So on Friday, it was somewhere here. That was the Friday of the previous week, right? It was trading somewhere here. It closed here. That was a close. And then what happened was that I was targeting this gap fill here, this gap fill. So there was a gap fill here. So basically what it was that it was just a very predictable trade, right? So here, what I was looking for was, okay, if we lose this 170 level, if we lose this 170 level, then we are going to fill this gap and then go down, right? That was what I was looking at. So on Monday, it was this. It started showing weakness, right? But we couldn't quite break this 170 level, right? And then on Tuesday, boom, we got this big move to the downside. What did he do? He filled the gap, right? And then he came here. So this is an area where I've said Palantir has held all throughout. Again, pattern recognition, right? Every time he came to the 50, he held. Every time he came to the 50, he held, right? So it's holding it. So we shall see what he's going to do on Monday. But the problem here with Palantir is that on Friday, when everything was rallying and doing big moves, Palantir was not moving, right? So right now, Palantir is putting in what looks like a bear flag, okay? So a bear flag. So if Palantir does not find a way to break above this moving average congestion, which is going to act as a break wall, then Palantir can continue selling. So here, this is going to be your bull flag. This is going to be your, let's put it this way. This is the flag here. It's not a bull flag, it's a bear flag. Sorry, bear flag, right? So this putting in a bear flag, meaning that if price comes up and then breaks below the 50 and below this candle, then this stuff here is going to be in trouble. Palantir is going to be in trouble, right? But I know that Palantir is a stock that is an AI stock, and if Nvidia beats earnings and things, this is going to rally, right? So it's two things, a two-way play, right? So it's either so over here, you see here. So if Palantir is not able to hold this 143 level, we are going to come here to the 100 SMA, right? Which is going to be significant, right? However, if it's able to break above this moving average congestion and remounts 170.99 or 171, then it can go back to its all-time highs, right? So that's why I'm going to be watching this closely to see how Palantir plays out. It was consolidating on Thursday. It didn't even move. Everything was moving, but Palantir was not moving, right? And this here on Friday, it was like kind of muted because usually on regular days like that, when the market is rallying very big, Palantir would just do like a 10% move, a 5% move like that. But this was just a muted move. So it's telling me that something is not quite right. And I heard that the CEO of Palantir was selling some of his shares. So maybe that was the reason why this was not moving. Hopefully he's done selling. If he's done selling, then this can go up. But this is setting up for it can be two types of trades. But because he has this bottoming tail candle here, this can help it. It can look like it might just reverse if it's able to gap up above these three lines, right? This is your 5 EMA, 9 EMA, and then this is your 20. So it forms a break wall of moving averages congestion, right? Yeah. So that's Palantir. All right. So now let me move to the Chinese stocks, right? So one Chinese stock that I'm looking at is PDD, Pinduoduo, PDD, right? PDD. So this not the rapper PDD. This Pinduoduo, right? This is like a Chinese stock. So here you have um PDD here, PDD Holdings. I like this setup. This setup is setting up for a breakout. What the problem with Chinese stocks is that they are prone to gap ups. Like by the time you wake up, the stock is somewhere or it's gap down, right? So you just have to trade them accordingly. If you're trading them, make sure you buy time, especially if you're swing trading them. Don't do weeklies on them because it's just going to mess you up, right? The time that you expect it to move is not moving. The time that you are not expecting it, then it moves, right? So you want to buy time. So Pinduoduo, if it's able to break above this level here, 127-ish, or a little bit higher, or 128, this thing has room to go, right? And it can go as high as, let's see here, it's 127 area. Yeah, 128. If it's able to break this 128, 129-ish, 129 area is going to come here to next profit target is going to be here, 134. And then it has room. There's a gap fill here. It's a gap fill somewhere here at 136. At least it can fill that gap. If it's able to fill that gap, that's going to be good enough, right? So I like Pinduoduo for like a setup, play. That day trade it. You can swing trade it, whichever one it is. You can figure it out from there, right? Yeah. So PDD is a good one to trade 135 level. At least we can get a gap fill. That should be more than enough. And then from there, anything from there is going to be a bonus, right? A bonus play. Okay. Anything from there is a bonus. So let's look at PDD. PDD here. Okay. So yeah, I forgot to show you guys the Palantir trade. So the Palantir trade, this one was a day trade. The short that I was talking about, this one here, this was Palantir PLTR. PLTR. This one. So this setup, this green candle day, right? This green candle, red candle day. That was on a Tuesday. That's Tuesday, um, August 19th. Is it? Yeah, August 19th. Yeah. So Tuesday there, that was a trade, right? Boom. So this was explosive. It did 13x return. So if you put in this trade, if you put in $1,000, you made 13,000, depending on your entry, right? If you put in 10,000, you made 130,000. So that's how, if you know your technicals and you prepare and you execute, you can make significant gain using options, right? So this was a 1,300% trade, right? So approximately you just cancel the last two numbers. It's 13x ROI. Okay. All right. So let's go back to the other one that we're talking about. So if you do PDD, there's also the leverage ETF for Chinese stocks, like Chinese tech stocks, China stocks. You can get this. This is Ying, right? Ying is a triple leverage ETF. So you can, like, this year is setting up for a breakout. So if this is able to break above $49, break and hold $49, it can push to 52, and then from 52 it can push to 58. I think that Chinese stock will get a push coming up soon. I believe that at some point, Trump will go to China because the Chinese president wants to meet with Trump due to the tariffs negotiations. And Trump is a showman, right? He likes to, wants to do a show, right? So if they call him there, that means that they have a deal ready to happen, and they are going to announce the deal in Beijing, and then boom, you are going to see all the Chinese stocks rally heavily, right? So that's what I see happening. So you want to buy time. And one good thing about Chinese stocks is that when the market is weak, usually when the market declines, you are going to see Chinese stocks do well. So in September is traditionally a weak month for the stock market. If we get a weak September, that means that you can see a position where the Chinese stocks can do well, especially if Trump goes to China in the fall. Okay. All right. So that's something I'm looking at. So next is I'm going to look at the interest rate sensitive stocks. And then from there, I'm going to touch on a few crypto names, and then we can wrap up there. So we're almost done here. Um, so interest rate sensitive stocks. One of them is in the solar industry, right? Solar stocks. This is Solar Edge Technologies. Again, this stock here has been beaten down. For the last 3 years, it's been like, they've been demolishing this stock. The bears have been demolishing it. But I think that it's ready to make some kind of a move, some kind of a comeback. I mean, it's not going to be like a big going to all-time highs, but at least it can do a good move, and then we can get that move to the upside. So here, if you look at this, you are going to see that this year, if you look at the broader sense, this looks like invested in shoulders, and then there's a gap fill here, right? If it's able to fill this gap, this $37 approximately gap, this thing here can push, like, it has all this price imbalance here from this red candles. This can push all the way to $50, right? Or $45 in no time. So I'm going to be watching this closely for the week in terms of for day trading purposes, kind of swing trade it, right? If you want, this is looking good. And if you look at the volume profile, what's it again? SEDG, SEDG, this one. You are going to see that it's setting up well. So you see here, you see this bottoming here, and then here, this you have your volume gap, right? You have your volume gap here. So with this volume gap, this thing has room to come all the way to $60 in a flash, right? So with interest rate coming up, and then there was a news that IRS like created some kind of clarity in terms of the tax benefits for green energy, including solar, due to the big beautiful bill that was passed. So they clarified it, and that favored solar stocks, right? So that means that together with interest rate cuts coming up on September 17th is going to help solar company, because the reason is that solar companies, usually those that install solar, they don't buy things outright. They don't like buy this thing outright. They take loans for it. And then there's always government subsidy. So government gives you some subsidy, and then you pay the rest, right? So you can pay them in installments similar to car loans and those auto loans and stuff like that, similar to it. So if interest rate is high, then these companies, people don't sign up because it's too high. Like, and it's not something that is a necessity, right? It's something that is like a luxury, right? Those that are doing it, they want to go green. They don't want to depend on the electrical grid in their city, and they want to do their own thing. They want to be independent. So that's not something that is like a need, right? It's something that you can do without, right? So if interest rate is high, then these guys are not going to like subscribe for that, right? So once interest rate comes down, then it's going to be more attractive for them to do sad deals. So that's why you are going to see solar stocks do well. So from now to September 17th, to the interest rate cut decision, we can see this kind of stocks do well. Okay. All right. So now to the earnings. The earnings coming up. So Nvidia. Let's look at Nvidia charts. Nvidia chart. Let's look at what is happening. No, actually, let me check it from here because I have a very nice chart on Nvidia here. So we're going to review Nvidia quickly, and we'll review some crypto stuff, and then some other stocks that are doing having earnings this week, and then we wrap up. So we are almost done. So here with Nvidia is like showing we had this like this move here. Let me just take off all these lines. So Nvidia here we have so Nvidia broke down from its all-time high and came all the way down, right? But what did he do? It held this red line. So this red line is the 50 SMA on the daily, right? It held it and now it's waiting. So basically what I think is going to happen is that this can just consolidate. Monday consolidate, trade somewhere here. Tuesday or maybe move a little bit here. Tuesday consolidate, and then once the earnings coming is good, you get a big green candle, boom, like it's done, right? You get a big green candle that takes you to over here. That takes you to the all-time highs, and it can crack new all-time highs, right? So if the earnings is good, you can crack above 184 and get to 185 or maybe 190. And then with our Nvidia, what it is that if Nvidia pushes up, right? If Nvidia pushes up, we can get Nvidia to go to like 200, right? 200 in no time. Okay. So that's something that you are going to be watching about. I don't think that it's going to move any much from now until after the earnings. So when the earnings coming is good, then boom, it's going to go. Okay. Another stock that is also in the AI. So Nvidia is the AI grandmaster when it comes. So Nvidia is more they produce chips, AI chips. So they have their Blackwell chips. They use it for AI systems and stuff. They're selling some to China, all that good stuff, right? So Nvidia is like in the hardware, and then Snowflakes is like the software. So picture the AI framework like, okay, it's like you're building a house, right? Let's say you bought a brand new house in your city, right? You bought a brand new house. So building the house, the hardware, the walls, the whatnots that you use to build the house is Nvidia chips, right? And then the inside is you have to decorate the place because once you finish, you have to get your curtains, you have to get some chairs and dining tables, all those kind of things, right? So that is where a stock like Snowflakes comes in. So Snowflakes is cloud computing, like that's software, AI software. So Snowflakes. So Snowflakes is also in the AI whole thing, right? So if Nvidia does well, is going to push Snowflakes as well. But Snowflakes has been consolidating here at the 100. So if the earnings is good, we can get a pop on Snowflakes and it could be trading somewhere here. But Snowflakes has been just like notorious for not moving that much. It's been just consolidating. So we shall see how that plays out. So with Snowflakes, I'm just going to wait for the earnings to come out. And depending on where it trades, if it's able to gap up above this 50 SMA, then we are going to trade it to the upside and target this area, target 230 and above, right? That's why I see this. And Snowflakes, I don't believe it's gone to all-time highs yet. No, it's been struggling. It's way off, right? Way off. So it's not going to get there right now. It's going to take some time. Next one is Affirm. Affirm also has earnings coming up, and Affirm is an interest rate sensitive stock. So Affirm is going to set the tone. And I believe that Affirm is going to do well as we approach the holidays, right? Because Affirm has a deal with Walmart. And if the economy deteriorates in the final half of the year, the final quarter of the year, that means that if folks cannot afford to buy things like groceries and other things or electronics from Walmart for Christmas gifts, they are going to do buy now pay later, right? So Affirm for does buy now pay later services. So you buy something, you pay later at a low interest rate, and you hold it. So if the cut interest rate is going to help this company, and more people are going to sign up to do buy now, pay later services, right? So our firm here, this is a cap here. This is your handle. Our firm is ready for a breakout. It's been consolidating for some time. So all what they need to do is that the earnings just has to be good. It has to be good. They have to talk about good forward guidance. If they're able to do that, expect our firm can just rally to $90 or even 98 in no time. So our firm, that's one of the stocks I'm going to be watching, which is an interest rate sensitive stock for the week when they post their earnings. I believe their earnings is I think on Wednesday or Thursday. You can check it out here. Let's go to earnings whisper. Earnings whispers. And let's check out our firm. And while we are at it, I'll check the other one that is having earnings again, CrowdStrike. So affirm. Where is it? Okay, Thursday. So that Nvidia is going to have this on Wednesday. And I believe when is Snow having this? It's Snow too on Wednesday. I believe they report the same time as Snowflakes. Snowflakes is when? Snowflakes is Wednesday. Okay, same time as Nvidia. So the boss will report and it's reporting the same time as Nvidia. So we shall see how that plays out. While we are at it, let's look at another one that is having earnings this week. CrowdStrike. So I've been watching CrowdStrike for the longest time to catch a trade on it, but it's not been setting up yet. It's not been setting up yet. And now they have earnings. I just want to wait to the earnings before I take any trade on it. So if they beat earnings, then it's going to be good. So that one too is on Wednesday. So after Wednesday, we shall see if we can trade this. So CrowdStrike. So CrowdStrike has their earnings coming up. And if you look at CrowdStrike here, it's yeah. So this has been selling. It has been a selling galore, right? And now where is it at? So you see that CrowdStrike has always found a way to remount this yellow line. I believe that the way this has sold off a lot, the probabilities of it going up at earnings is high, right? If I'm betting and I'm taking a lotto on this, I'll bet to the upside because this has sold off a lot. It's too much, right? So all what they need to do, and the company knows about it. So what they are going to do is that they are going to say something nice. They must say something nice, say something forward guidance, something to do with the revenue. If everything is in sync and it is good, this thing is going to shoot up, right? So CrowdStrike, I'm going to be watching it. I'm not going to trade it until after the earnings. So after the earnings, if it's able to at least grab up above this, then I'm going to get a trade where we are going to target this area, this red area, and then we can see if it can push up back to all-time highs. But this is a solid cybersecurity company. And then if you want long-term hold, you can get shares of this, and this is a very good company. Okay. So if you believe in technology, you must have a cybersecurity stock in your portfolio. Okay. Now let's go to crypto, right? What is happening in the crypto field, right? What is happening in the crypto universe? So I'm sure those of you who follow crypto, you know what's happening. So let's check it out. Let's check it out together. Let's check it out here. So let's check out crypto. What's this crypto guys doing? Let's check it out. Let's check the main guy, the boss of all of them, Bitcoin. Okay, so this is how crypto works, right? Let me see if I can find that thing. See BTCD. Perfect. Check. Okay. So here, this is called Bitcoin dominance chart, right? In terms of uh, uh market cap and stuff like that, right? So usually crypto tokens or coins move in series. Okay. First off, you have the grandmaster, which is Bitcoin, which most people know about. It rallies. And then once Bitcoin is tired, it cools off. And that's a cooling off period. So once this Bitcoin dominance chart starts decreasing and selling off, right? That ushers in the altcoin season, right? Altcoins. And the king of the altcoins is Ethereum, right? Ethereum is at the top, and all those guys are below it, right? So if you are new to crypto, you go to, there's a place called this website. You should bookmark this website. Whoops. You should bookmark this website, Coin Market Cap. Coin Market Cap, this one. So if you go to Coin Market Cap, you are going to see all the cryptocurrencies in the world. Everything is there. So if you're looking for any cryptocurrency and you're looking for, the problem with crypto is that you can't get everything in one exchange, right? If you go to Coinbase, you might get selling coins. If you go to Binance, you might get selling coins. So you have to be going all over the place, right? So if you're looking for a token or a coin, they call it tokens, right? You can replace it with coin, right? You come and search for it, you set the ticker symbol just like a stock, and then you can dig through and see where it's listed. So for instance, Bitcoin, everybody knows Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin is common. Like every crypto exchange has Bitcoin. So you click on Bitcoin. So you see Bitcoin is down, right? It's loading now. Bitcoin is down. So you can scroll down. You can scroll down and check out information about it using the website. So you can play around with it. You can play around with it about Bitcoin, blah, 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 about it. And you can look for things like, this is taking so long. So you can take things like, you can get information about where it's listed and stuff, which, like, platforms where you can find it, where you can buy and sell it. You can look at, so you click on here, exchanges. You can click on exchanges here, and then you can type in what you are looking for, right? So what you're looking for, you can get all the information that you need, okay? So you can type it here and find it out. So let's go back to what I'm looking for here. So over here, Ethereum is, in terms of market cap, right? Bitcoin is the highest, right? This is 2 point something trillion, right? That's Bitcoin, and then followed by Ethereum is the number 2. So when it comes to altcoins, alternative coins, right? Something that is not Bitcoin. Any coin that is not Bitcoin is an altcoin. Okay, it's as simple as that. So now that Bitcoin is like, Bitcoin, for lack of a better word, is tired, right? It's been going, it's tired. So if you go back to, so this Bitcoin dominance chart tells you when it's time for you to now step in to buy your altcoins, right? The other coins that are not Bitcoin, to capitalize on them. So that's when you are going to get the stocks like, the tokens like Dogecoin going up. You are going to get the tokens like what's it called? Shiba Inu going up, or Cardano, or XRP, all these kind of tokens are starting going up, right? So one that I'm looking at closely, which we covered in the last live stream, was Ethereum, right? Let's check out Ethereum here. ETH. And how we are going to play this. So we can play this using the stock market as well and capture the move as well. So here we have Ethereum, right? So Ethereum here, I'm looking at it from, I think there was another one that I had here. Is it the one with Binance? Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Okay, that's the one. So here, I have Ethereum here. So I told you guys in the last couple of live streams, I told you guys that Ethereum was going to go to all-time highs. And here we are, it cracked new all-time highs, right? That was, which day was this? That was on, oh, that's like today, right? It cracked new all-time highs, and now it's pulling back, right? It's bull flagging here. Eventually, it's going to break out and go. So my price target for Ethereum by the end of this final rally, or this whole crypto cycle, is going to be 7,000. So around 7,300 thereabouts. I believe that Ethereum is going to go there. And for Bitcoin, I've revised my price target. My price target is going to be 170,000 thereabout, right? So 150 to 170,000 should be good enough. And then that's also going to get other altcoins to do well. So if Ethereum is to break out, then we can trade it in the stock market using Ethereum leverage ETFs, or we can use Ethereum treasuries to trade them, right? So one of the Ethereum treasuries is so first off, let's do the Ethereum ETF, right? Leverage is a ETU. So this tracks the movement of Ethereum. So anytime Ethereum is going up by 1%, this goes up by 2%. So 2x long, right? 2x long, this one. So if you look at this is ready for a breakout, right? If you look at this chart really looks nice. It's ready for a breakout. So above $50, this can shoot up to $60, right? So if you can capture the move from here to here, that would be fantastic, right? And if you look at this is a cap, and this is your handle here, which broke down. So it now needs to break out and go. And it can, if Ethereum is to get to 7,000 sometime soon, then this is going to do wonders, right? So if you want to catch a piece of the pie using the stock market, then you can get this leverage ETF, or you can get the Ethereum ETFs, the one with no leverage on it. But I think if I'm doing something like this, I want to capture the leverage as well, okay? Or you can get the Ethereum treasuries, right? Example of Ethereum treasury is BMNR. BMNR, right? BMNR. So BMNR looks very nice for a breakout. That is if Ethereum is showing strength, BMNR is going to break out, right? BMNR is going to break out. So if you look at BMNR, look at it here. This is setting up to be a beauty, right? So here, this is, so if you look at this is your cap here, this is your handle, and we are going to get a breakout. So my immediate target for this is 71. Let it come back here. So we caught this trade to $71 2 weeks ago. We caught this trade in the day trading service and also the swing trading service that we have. We caught this trade. So here I'm looking at another move, a similar move, which is going to get to $71 very soon. And then once we get to this place, then the sky is the limit. This can come to highs, right? So there's a way where you can participate in the Ethereum rally when it comes. Okay. All right. So another one that you can use as well is SBET. That's also another Ethereum treasury, but this one is more effective than this. This is a little bit lagging behind. It's slow. And BMNR is something that Tom Lee of CNBC fame is the chairman. So a lot of people are chasing it as well. A lot of retailers are chasing it. So this one could be another one that you can look at to capture the Ethereum move. And this one here is setting up for a nice move once it breaks above this trend line here, right? So if you can go above like $30, then that's going to be push this up, and then we can get a big breakout. Okay. All right. So let's go back to a few cryptos and then we'll wrap up here. So here, another crypto that I'm looking at, now that we've gotten Ethereum to go back to all-time highs, the next one on the block is Solana. Solana, right? Solana is a Solana is also a cryptocurrency, and I believe it's number 3, right? Number 3 on the crypto this year. Yeah, so it's not number 3 anymore. Yeah, so it's number 6 now. Number 6, right? Number 6 here. So basically, this one is ready. So you see here, you see this level here. If this is able to break above 212, this has room to push. So don't be surprised to see this. This is at 207 coming to 290 in no time, right? Similar thing that Ethereum did, this can do that as well, right? Another one too that I'm looking at is, which is popular due to Elon Musk and other guys, is Dogecoin. Right, Dogecoin. So you can check out Dogecoin here. Right, Dogecoin. Look at this. Look at this trend line. So this trend line here, once you break this trend line, Dogecoin will be off to the races, right? So this is how you can capture these big moves. You don't need, so with a technical analysis person, I don't need to be a crypto expert, right? You can just block this, and a chart is a chart. It's like a language, right? The same language that you speak here is the same language that you speak in the stock market. Or the only difference is that I just need to know the ticker, right? And the platform that they're using is the same thing, right? So here, this looking like something that is looking to break out. So don't be surprised to see this here going to 28 cents, and then it can push all the way to 40 something cents, which is going to be a big move. Okay. And XRP is something that is all over the internet there. Everybody's talking about it. So let's look at it, and we are going to close the crypto move. So XRP has rallied and now it's coming back. You got a pullback here. And you see that it has held the 50. So it needs to hold this area. If it's able to hold it, then it's going to go up and then push up again. So XRP, it has this mini trend line here. If it's able to crack above this mini trend line, it's going to push up and stuff, push up here, right? But based on what has happened in the past, I think that it's going to hold it and push up. So expect XRP to come. So I mean, I own XRP. I've been holding this since 30 cents, 29 cents, something very, very low, right? The lows, like I was accumulating this somewhere here, XRP. So this is something that has has applications in the financial industry, like the banks. So XRP is something that, I mean, I've been having my long-term crypto portfolio long, long time ago. In 2022, when it was selling off, I was just buying these things, right? So yeah, so this is that's down like 10x, whatever x. I don't know even know how many x is down now. It's really huge, right? So I believe that this thing here, by the time we finish the crypto cycle, this can get to like it can get to as far as maybe $5 or even $10, right? Which is going to be significant. Okay. Right. So yeah, so that's some of the key things that I wanted to cover this week here. And for those that are interested in joining our swing trading service. So as you could see, some of the gains that we had last week. So if you are interested in joining, you can come here, you join our swing trading service or day trading service. So here you go to Trading Rich. And if you've not subscribed to this channel, please do so that we can, get the numbers up and also hit the notification bell and hit the like button to like the video if you've learned something today and you find the video helpful. So that so that I know that okay, you guys are learning something from this, and also comment as well, right? If you have any questions, please feel free to post your questions in the chat so that I'll be happy to answer them. So when you come here, you go to Trading Rich, and then you go to the we have two subscription services. You have the weekly alerts. So this week, we've already posted the trade alerts for the week already, and it's really I'm really excited for this week's place. It's like it's ready to go. These stocks can explode on Monday, and I've not shared those stocks here in this live trading, right? Live session. These are special stocks that I have here. So if you're interested, this is just $47 a month. Most of everybody that has subscribed to this, your first play is going to make you $47 in a flash, right? And you can, within a month, you can 10x that return or even 100x that return, right? Depending on how much you're putting in. And this is the only service in the stock market industry that has 30-day money back guarantee. If after 30 days you don't make money, you let us know. You show us that you took some of the trades. You show us evidence that you took the trade, and yeah, and then we can refund your money. Easy peasy. No excuses, right? And then here, so it's $47 per month, or you can go the yearly one. If you go the yearly one, you are going to get 2 months free. So basically you are just paying for 10 months. And so most members, once they subscribe within the first month, they switch to the yearly package because it's a no-brainer, right? Because this is a weekly money multiplier. So if you want to make passive income in the markets on a weekly basis, you subscribe to this. Most of the time, our plays by Wednesday we are done, right? By Wednesday, you already made your money. Like last week, Monday we got TEM, we captured the trade. Tuesday, We captured other trades. There was one that we captured as well, which was CoreWeave. CoreWeave was a 100% trade. We shorted CoreWeave, right? That was one of the main plays, one of the top three. So I provide top three tickets for the week. So let's go to CoreWeave here, CRWV. We shorted it and then we got the $90 puts. So here this CoreWeave, right? So CoreWeave, that was, which day was this? This is this Thursday. Okay. So we caught this move here for CoreWeave, this one. This was Monday. We were in on Monday. Tuesday we were in. Wednesday we took final profit off the table because I told members, hey guys, this thing is struggling to break this level here. It came all the way down to 83 or so. And then we took profit from there. We took the $90 puts. So from here to here, that was about 17%, 16% decline in the equity, right? And with the options, the $90 puts, that was 100% profit, 100% plus, depending on where you exited, right? So yeah, so if you want to get such trades, you have to sign up for the this one here, and then you take advantage. So I'm going to put it in the chat here. It's so every Sunday I post my trade plan for the year, and then for the week, sorry, not the year, for the week. So this is it here. So here, this is the link. So if you want to take advantage, you want to take massive action today, you take action, and then you get my top 3 picks for the week, right? My top 3 picks. Sometimes I add bonuses to it. Like I say, okay, you know what? I'm feeling happy today. I'm providing like a bonus play. You can also take that one as well. And what I do is that anytime I take these trades with my money, right? It's not financial advice. I take the trade with my money. I say, hey, I've taken this trade. I told you this was a game plan. The game plan has triggered. I've taken this trade. This is how much I bought it for. This is the price. You can do the same thing, right? Then members can take the trade. You get a real-time alert. And then when I'm taking profit, I say, hey, by the way, based on how this is looking, I'm selling 80% of my contracts, or I'm selling 50% of my contracts, and I'm leaving the rest around because I see that we are going to get more room, right? More room to the downside or to the upside, depending on what kind of trade we are taking. If it's a long, then maybe I expect more move to the upside, and we will then capture those trades, right? So these are things that, and then when I exit the trade, so after every day, before the end of the day, I tell members what are my current positions, so they know. It's very transparent. I tell them, okay, this is the positions that I'm holding. So if you see something in there, you know that, okay, it shows that Richie is still holding this, so I can hold it, right? And I let you know if I'm holding the runner, right? And that kind of thing. And if I exit, I tell you I've exited the position, I'm done. I'm all in cash, that kind of thing, right? So, and if I sense danger coming, I let members know. And then if a trade is not working out, I just say, you know what? I don't think this is working out here. Let's stop out here. And then we take a small loss. So for instance, there was this trade that we took on Shopify, right? We came in, it was a neutral trade, right? It was like, okay, we can either go up or come down. So whichever one triggers first, we are going to take it. So Shopify, it was funny. Shopify here, the first one was, so we caught the puts here. So Shopify, eventually we caught the puts, right? But on the first day, there was a big gap. You see this gap here, 127, right? On the first day, this was showing that it wanted to reverse, right? Hold this red line. This was our stop loss, 140. Hold this red line and go, right? But on the first day, this was green. And I'm like, okay, let's see what it does the following day. If the following day we come and we wipe out this, then that means that the trade is null and void. So this one we stopped out at like, I think 20% loss or something, or 25% loss, just very, very small loss, right? And then we switched because the game plan was we can either go long or short, whichever one triggered first. And we caught the puts to the downside. And it worked out well. I believe this one was around 70% profit or 80% profit. So whatever the loss was here, we ended up green on the trade. So that's how I can spot the stuff and say, okay, you know what, this stuff here, I don't think this is going to work. Let's switch. And then we have what is called professional losses. Professional loss is a loss that you've already planned for it, right? So you see here, you see this red line here? This is the 140. That's where we're looking to stop out. So if this goes to 140 and closes below it, that means that, okay, we are out, right? Then we have to flip the switch and go. And then on Friday, you can just flip up and change. So the good thing about trading is that you don't have to be just rigid. You have to have a plan. And all this game plan, I give it in advance on a Sunday. So before even I let the trade, you already know what the game plan is. So you can even take the trade. If you're a trader, you don't need to wait for me, right? You can take your trade. You can take it once it triggers, once you put the alerts in your system. So if you are busy, you have a busy 9 to 5, all that good stuff, and then you don't have time to be monitoring your trade, this is something that is going to help you, right? It's going to help you to be able to make money from the markets on a consistent basis, on a weekly basis. So far, every week, this service here, we've been green, right? Every week, we've been green so far. So, yeah. Then, also, if you're the type that you say, you know what, I want to spice up things. I want to I want to also make money. So this year, this is the alert service, this weekly. You just set and forget, relax, and then you follow instructions. As long as you can follow instructions, you can trade this. And you have a broker that can buy and sell options, you can do this easily, right? And then here, this one is live day trading. So if you want to live day trade with me on a daily basis, so if you're a futures trader and you're an option trader, you can live day trade with me every day, 5 days a week. Monday to Friday, I trade live with members. So we trade a specific strategy. We mainly focus on the first hour. Most of the times our trades is done within the first half an hour, right? First half an hour, we make our money and walk away, right? If you want to stay up trading, you can also trade. And sometimes you can catch the long, the first 30 minutes, and then the second 30 minutes, we catch the short. That's the beauty of the strategy. So here, this one here is only $97 USD per month, right? Again, 30-day money back guarantee. If you don't make money and you took the trades and you think you don't make money, you let us know. We'll give you a refund. That's the only service in the industry that does that, right? And then here you can bump up to the yearly package, which makes you get a big savings of $194. And this year you get 2 months off, right? 2 months free, right? So this is for those that are serious and want to sharpen their day trading skills, right? So if you're a day trader, it's easy for you to swing trade, right? Because swing trading becomes pretty easy, right? Because you can manage your trades, and day trade is fast, so you have to be fast thinking. So I guide members every day, right? So if I take a trade, I say, hey, I like this. I'm focusing on this. This is what I'm focusing on. I'm taking that trade. Like Palantir, like this. We shorted Palantir last week. I showed you the gains. And then we we shorted CoreWeave. We were day trading CoreWeave in the day trading room, and then swing trading it as well. So you can double dip. You can make money on both sides. So that one too, I'm going to put the link here. If you're interested in taking action, you can take action on it, and then you would be part of the day trading community. So here we day trade every single day, Monday to Friday. And the day trading service, we usually start at 6. No, we start at 8:45 a.m. Eastern. We go through the futures game plan, and then from there we go through the options and stocks day plan, right? So yeah. So let me know if you guys have any questions. It's been I can't wait for the market to be tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to trading with the day trading subscribers. And yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun week here. We look forward to seeing what Nvidia is going to do and the other stocks are going to do this week. So put in the chat if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. Someone, Benjamin, say he came in late. Something. Yeah. So everything that I talked about is on here on the YouTube. So you can always watch the replay, right? Anytime, no rush. You can watch the replay, and you are going to see All the links that I was using and how to find them is on the replay here. So let me know if you guys have any questions before we wrap up here. So make sure if you didn't take notes, you can go back and rewatch this. Share it with your friends and family who are into stocks or crypto. Share it with them so that they can also gain the value from it. And if you've not subscribed, like some of you have not there are a lot of people that watch this, but some of you have not subscribed yet. So please check to see if you are subscribed. Click on the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and then subscribe. And always, if you are live, just make sure you are checking the live button. Make sure that the red dot is showing that we are live, and you know that we are in the live session. So let me know if you have any questions. Other than that, I would wrap up here. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see how things work out this week. And I'm excited to day trade with members tomorrow, and also swing trade with subscribers this week. Okay, let's make this week count, and let's end the summer on a high note. Right? So far, the summer has been awesome. Awesome trading, swing trading, and day trading. So let's finish the month on a high note, and let's wait for September the fall. Okay. So we are getting into the final quarter of the year. So we have to finish hard and finish strong. Okay. So yeah, so have a good night, everybody. And those that are in the day trading and swing trading service, we shall link up and communicate tomorrow. Bye bye. Bye for now. Take care. Bye bye. Have a good night.